and happy 4th of July. We were gonna go someplace nice today, my wife and I, and Jamie, it's too hot. So the next best thing is to project that I'm on the beach. Anyway, I have fun doing this. I laugh at my own jokes. I tell stupid jokes. I mispronounce everything. But as I've said in my last or the couple, never give up. You get better every time. So anyway, okay, let's talk about Elsa, the lioness from Born Free. Now, every time I talk about what the topic is, luckily there's a list that I get from Chat GPT or GPT 4.0, and I ask it to tell me all the animals in history that are wonderful. And every time, thank goodness, I have something more to do. It's like you're sitting at work and you have nothing to do and you're still gonna sit there. So no, that isn't what I do. I work, and then stop. Okay, and I know I say okay a lot. I watch these in depth after I complete them, typically in the evening, and I look at technique and words I shouldn't use and or use too often. One is basically, another one is okay. So anyway, okay. All right, so what you're seeing is Elsa with one of her handlers. And we're going to talk all about Elsa. And again, these animals are so smart, beautiful, and they know they're doing something worthwhile. They're not dumb animals. So here we go. Okay, Elsa was an African lioness raised by Joy and George Adamson in Kenya. Her story became famous through the book Born Free, written by Joy Anderson, and later through the popular movie adaptation by the same name. There's kind of an illustration. Again, all our lionesses are, I think, beautiful. They just have that wonderful look. Anyway, the background, Elsa was orphaned as a young age when her mother was shot by George Anderson in self-defense. Okay, we will accept that. Instead of sending the cubs to a zoo, the Andersons decided to raise them. Elsa was the smallest and weakest of the cubs, but she formed a special bond with them. As Elsa grew, they faced the challenge of preparing her for a life in the wild. By the way, the picture you're looking at is a real picture that I pulled off the web. You can tell why the quality is so mezza. Taken many years ago, not being able to put it through all the tools we use. And I use Leonardo AI, which is a wonderful AI program, not sponsored, but I can usually pull great, lifelike, real images. Now today, and I know I tell you all these asides because I find them interesting, and certainly everybody looks at everybody's videos to try to pick up what to do, what not to do, how to make them better. But the What was happening with Leonardo AI today, every time I put in Elsa, the lioness from Born Free, and any combination, female, lioness, it all came up with beautiful lions. I'm talking about 4 or 5 times. And I tried different prompts, and I'm saying there's no reason why this should not be bringing up what you would consider a lioness instead of a lion. So I said, you know, it's not bad to use pictures that are real. You know, if all else fails, do something right and real. So anyway, that's from, I use a vidIQ, not sponsored again. And they, when you put in a topic or title of what you're going to put together, it does give you 3 thumbnails that most of the time aren't bad. But today they were like, whoa, these are the best, best we have here. Anyway, so they, instead of trying to train her to be wild, they trained her to hunt and survive on her own, a process that was both difficult and rewarding. Okay, Elsa was successfully released into the wild and learned to live independently. She became a symbol of wildlife conservation and the bond between humans and animals. So the impact, Born Free, the book Born Free, detailed Elsa's life and the Adamsons' efforts to reintroduce her to the wild. It was a bestseller and raised awareness about wildlife conservation. So they adapted it to film in 1966 by the same name, Born Free. It brought Elsa's story to an even wider audience, further cementing her legacy. So this is neat. They did train her to live normally in the wild, but they certainly took what was wonderful in some of the pictures and basically first wrote a book. And back to where I first thought I was going to say, oh no, you know, Mr. Anderson shot, you know, Elsa's mother, but it was in self-defense. So we'll give that a slide. The movie's success helped promote the importance of preserving natural habitats for wild animals. Now, with conservation efforts, Elsa's story inspired many to support wildlife conservation efforts. The Born Free Foundation was established in her honor, continuing the work protecting animals and their habitats. Now remember, this was in Kenya. Okay, Elsa's story is a touching example of the possibilities of human-animal relationships and the importance of conservation. Her life was inspired countless people around the world to appreciate and protect wildlife. And you know what we get into, and I know we're saying, okay, we've encouraged people to protect wildlife. There's no good reason not to protect wildlife. You know, when people go out and hunt for fun, you know, I think you probably would guess I wouldn't be happy with that. And I don't feel it's fun. And we, as you know, on this channel, we talk about, in a lot of cases, folks, animals losing their habitat, it being taken away, or hunters, you know, folks going after elephants for their tusks, this stuff is just not necessary. And, you know, if I can get anything accomplished with my channel, is just kind of passing the word a little bit that you can do whatever you want, but you don't have to. It's mutually exclusive, I guess you might say, where I can do my life. I don't need to take anybody else's life, meaning either adults or, well, I don't want to say children, but animals, any animal. And I even said yesterday, the day before, I love crocodiles. I wouldn't be stupid enough to try to go up and hug the alligator or the crocodile, but I certainly wouldn't do anything to hurt them. It doesn't make any sense. And a while back, back in 1974, I went on a 3-day canoe camping trip in the Everglades. It was in December. Well, mosquitoes, 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 to the extent that that's all you could hear. I don't mean a mosquito getting close to your ear. I'm talking about billions around you. Thank God we had a pump tent. But don't get out of the pump tent, especially at night, because you're gonna get attacked big time. And then when we get over to, I might redo this again. You know, as we do these, you say, hey, could I go back and do something I did before that wasn't that good, or make it better? The other thing that was a problem, we canoed through the Everglades. We saw a manatee, which we thought was a whale. Kind of stupid. But we're like, uh-oh, we're going to get attacked by a man-eating whale. But we then get out to the Florida Bay, which was beautiful. And here we're camping. We have little water. Raccoons would come into our camp every night and look for food and or water. And they would bite holes in things. Like if you had I had a big 5-gallon container of fresh water that we were taking with us. We camped the night before we get into the canoe and headed out. And I get up in the middle of the night and it didn't rain. And I'm stepping in all this water. I'm like, what the heck? Well, what had happened is a raccoon came into the camp, looking around, and saying, oh, there's a lot of fresh water. And I don't even know why they do it, because they survive without my water. But they had bitten a hole in the 5-gallon container. And that water was now gone. So we started the trip with 5 gallons less water, but we survived. But the point, and when I was saying when we got to Florida Bay, we didn't have the mosquitoes as much, but we had gnats. Now, this isn't how would you say, a presentation on insects, but now that I'm talking about the trip in the Everglades, there are a lot of insects. And gnats are worse than mosquitoes because you can't see them. They get on your skin and they bite the hell out of you. And what we found is we were all the time, we could not take showers. And we had to keep putting bug spray on top of suntan lotion, on top of bug spray on top of, not where you'd say, hey, I feel clean. But it's better than getting eaten alive, right? Because then you leave and you take 20 showers and then I guess you're relatively back to normal. But anyway, the wonderful nature of Elsa and all the animals that have followed And I will do everything I can to ensure that you see them just as I see them, and we enjoy what we do and what we see. So anyway, this is a little short, but it's a holiday, so you have the rest of the day off. And thank you. You know, I always keep thanking you. I never take anything for granted. I never have, never will. So thank you, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.